and welcome to another webinar about the OpenLM system. I am Sagi, and I will walk you through the core product of the OpenLM system. So, as we go through the core product of OpenLM, if you have any questions, just use the chat of the GoToWebinar tool. Ask the question, and once I'm done with my paragraph, I will address your question. Okay, so let's begin. Now, first of all, I want to talk to you about what is OpenLM in general. We will not be doing a presentation today. We will only see a demonstration of the tool itself on a live system and on a client system. We'll see it working live and see exactly how OpenLM can help you stretch your licenses to their limits. So first of all, what is OpenLM? So OpenLM basically is a software that allows you to monitor all your different license managers on your system. You can see all the statistical analysis that you need. You can see predictions of how many licenses you actually need. You can see if you are using or not using certain licenses. And there is a lot of extra functionality of OpenLM with all its extension, meaning managerial capabilities like alert management, save and close capability, idle time, and so on. But for today, we will just go over the core product of OpenLM. If we will have time, we will also go over some extensions. So how does OpenLM do that? How does OpenLM help you actually know how many licenses you need? How can it help you get power, be empowered when confronting the vendor? And how it can help you avoid privacy policy issues? How can it help you pretty much avoid being audited? So OpenLM gives you a complete picture. It gives you a past, present, and future. In this screen right here, you can see the license managers. Now, you can put all your license managers in all your networks in one place. You can put them in the OpenLM. We have OpenLM track them, monitor them, and then you will be able to see all of them together. So what are we seeing here? Here we are seeing different license managers. If we go to a client system, then you can see that this client has about 203 different license servers. Of course, that on each license server, there can be several vendors like AutoCAD, like Autodesk, Siemens, and so on. Now, what you're seeing here is the current status of the licenses, meaning you can see how many licenses you have from each license server, the features inside it, and how many are currently used right now. So this shows you what's going on right now with all your system. Doesn't matter if it's FlexLM, LMX, RLM, DSLS, we have about 25 different license managers that we track. Now, if I click on the quantity, I see 25 licenses. I click on it and I'll be able to see the features inside it, and I'll be able to see who is using it. If I click on procurement, I'll be able to see its expiration, the quantity, product name, pretty much everything about the license. And if I click here on the used column, Then I can see all the users that are currently working with the system. As I said, first we see the current situation of the system. So for example, I can see Alyssa here, Matilda, Alice. I see that there's group China development, USA sales, all these different groups. I can see which workstation it's coming from, what is the session duration, pretty much everything about the session itself, everything that you would like to see. Now, these users that you just saw, they come from your Active Directory. So OpenLM can connect to your Active Directory and you can create groups and users from the Active Directory. This is an extension, so this is just a side note as of now. So in this screen, you saw that OpenLM tells you what's going on right now with your system. It enables you to know how far you are right now from maxing out the license. For example, I see that this license is maxed out, but this license is not yet. Also, this interface enables you to control your license manager. So you can remotely start, stop, reread the license manager, or you can upload or download files from it. Now this is great. This shows you what's going on in your system as of now, in all your system. But let's say that you want statistical information. You want to know how far you are from maxing out the license, if you are using it well, if your utilization is good, or maybe you're underusing it, meaning that you're pretty much spending money on licenses that you don't use. So how can you know? The license usage report shows you just that. It shows you your license quantity and the concurrent usage level. Concurrent usage level meaning usage of licenses from the floating licenses pool. So if I pull a license and at the same time you pull a license, then it's concurrent usage of 2. If I pull a license, put it back, only then you pull a license, then it's still concurrent usage of 1, meaning overlapping usage. So the concurrent usage right here, if we take a look at this sample graph, we can see that this license was pretty much underused. You see that it was about level 6, but they had like 70 licenses. And as time goes, you see that the usage grows and grows and grows until it actually maxes out right here. It actually reaches the top line, meaning the license quantity, and then when someone wants to pull a new license to open the application, then they will not be able because there are no more licenses left. He will effectively be denied. So this can be seen as a chart, as you see here, as a table, but also as a heat map. So here you can see a heat map of the full week during the month. But let's say that we want to see a different heat map. One moment, let's just refresh that. Let's say that we want to see a heat map per days. So we'll just let it load. Meanwhile, okay, so let's open up the license usage again, go to the heat map, and let's say that I would like the heat map of each day, the hours of the day, spread across the month. So here you can see 0 hour, 1 to 7 a.m. to about 2 a.m. You can see that the licenses here are being utilized midday during the middle of the week. Like the weekend, it's all clear, it's all green. So this gives you a representation of your usage if, for example, you have servers in different countries, different time zones, and you want to have those licenses be utilized throughout all the time zones. So the heat map is very useful for that. So what happened after the license got maxed out? Now, we talked about it. When the licenses got maxed out, then the user got denied. So for that, we have the denials report. If we go to the denials report, we'll be able to see all the users and all the groups and all the features that got denied from pulling a license. So as you see here, it's aggregated by user, but I can aggregate it by group. Now, a group can be organizational unit. It can be, for example, a certain department. It can be a certain country. It can be a certain office, whatever you choose. You have the options to create your own groups. So I can even show it as denials within a day. So for example, I can see that 1 p.m. is the most denied hour for me for this feature. Now, OpenLM shows you true denials. This is something that sets us apart from many competitors. True denials, what is that? Let's say that you're an engineer and you want to pull a license. You want to open up AutoCAD, for example. So you click on AutoCAD, your machine, your workstation goes out to the first server that it can, tries to get a license. Now let's say that it's denied. So it will go to another server to try and get the license from there. But let's say that it gets the license in the second server. So the first denial, is that something that you want to see? No, it's something that skews the results, it skews the statistics. So you'll be able to show true denials only, and with those true denials, which do fit the statistics, you will get more true representation of your denial status. Now, of course, that I didn't say it, but all reports can be downloaded as a CSV. The table of it can be downloaded, and you can do pretty much whatever you want with the data. Now, this is great. I've showed you that OpenLM can tell you what's going on right now. We've seen that OpenLM can show you usually how far you are from maxing out your license. It shows you when you're maxing out your licenses exactly. But after you've maxed out your licenses, it also shows you the denials, when and for which feature you were denied from, or users were denied from. But let's say that we want to look ahead. We want to get a utilization of a certain feature. Let's say that we want to buy a certain feature, so we need a number. We need something to tell us you need 20 licenses. If we take a look at the other reports, nothing actually gives you the number that you're looking for. And we're all looking for some number to tell the vendor, to tell the organization itself. So this report, the utilization report of OpenLM, shows you the amount of time spent on each concurrent level. Now, what does that mean? One license pulled, meaning only I pulled a license and that's it, it was like 84% of the times. But like 27 licenses pulled at the same time was about 11% of the time. Meaning that it lets us set something that's called quality of service. Now, what is quality of service? To put it in simple terms, if you're okay with the fact that your users will statistically get denied about, let's say, 5% of the times, then you can set the quality of service or QoS line to 95%. Now 95% means that your user statistically will get denied 5% of the time. So every 100 times, 5 times they will get denied, which is nothing. So for that scenario, for this feature, I see that I only need 45 licenses. I have 70 licenses at the total number of licenses, but I only need 45. Now let's make it a bit more drastic. Let's say that I'm okay with the fact that 9 times out of 10 they will get a license, but 1 time out of 10, meaning 10% of the times, they will not get a license. So if you're okay with quality of service of 90%, then you can see here that the number that you need is only 30. Now that's a huge reduction. That's less than half of the licenses that I have for this feature. And if some licenses cost up to like $10,000 per license, per floating license, then any reduction is good. Any reduction is helpful for the organization. Now, you see this and you say, okay, that's great. You're going to give me a concrete number, but there is something that this number can help you with beyond just telling you how many licenses you need. It gives you power. What do I mean by give you power? When you meet with the vendor and you want to buy new licenses, more licenses, update your licenses, whatever, this gives you power to come to the vendor and tell him, I need 30 licenses. I'm going to buy maybe 32 or 33 just in case, but I need 30 licenses. Usually the vendor can tell you, no, you need 70. Last time you bought 70. Maybe buy 60 because you're not using it all the time. Maybe buy 60, maybe 65. He can fool you. So this way you'll have this shield where you can say, I need 30. Just give me 30. You know what? Let's give me 30. Let's test it out. I'm sure it will be okay. And this way, you know what you want and you know what you need when confronting the vendor. Also, this gives you a lot of power when confronting internal groups. Sorry about that. Let's say that Bob from design comes up to you and he tells you, well, my team is starting a new project and I need 1,000 licenses. I have 900 new employees. I need 1,000 licenses or something. Or so you can quickly take a look at his users, at his feature that he needs, and say that, okay, those users, I know their utilization. I know the utilization that you will get for that project. So you don't need 1,000 licenses, you only need 100. So this way, no one can fool you and no one can tell you what you need to buy. You tell them. You have the power now because you know exactly how much they need. Now, if we take a look at it from another perspective, then we can check out the licenses not in use report. What is the licenses not in use and why is it so different from the license utilization report? Well, license utilization report tells you how many licenses you need. Licenses not in use report tells you how many licenses you don't need. Now that kind of sounds similar, like how much I need is like direct opposite of how much I don't need, right? Well, no. Let's say that you know that for this feature you need 30 licenses. But do you know which features you're not using at all? Maybe you have a package that holds 5 different features and you only use one. So you can use this report to come up to the vendor and tell him, I don't need the expensive package. I just want this single feature. Or this time in this package, don't include Navisworks, for example, because I see that Navisworks 2014 was never used. Quantity of 35 was never ever used. So you can select the time span, the time range, of course, but in this case, it shows that it was never used, and so I can come up to the vendor, and this gives me even more power, where I can come up to the vendor and just tell him, these licenses are not used. Please try to compile a different package or a smaller package or something that costs a bit less. Now, as we've seen up until now, OpenLM gives you past, present, and future. It shows you what's going on right now with your system. It shows you statistical information and how far you are from maxing out your licenses. It shows you what's going on after your licenses have been maxed out and kind of clue you in on how many licenses you probably need. But the license utilization report gives you an exact prediction of how many licenses you need. It shows you exactly how many licenses you require for a certain feature. And this is built upon statistical information that OpenLM collects. And lastly, you'll be able to see which of these you're not actually using, which of the licenses you have are you're not actually using. So you're probably thinking to yourself, well, why would I have a feature or something that I'm not using, a vendor that I'm not using? I know my vendors. I know what I'm using. We found that many times license admins have some license managers or some other vendors hiding, and they could not find them. They did not know that they exist. So next time procurement rolls along and they want to buy new licenses, so they see, oh, I have license for AB. Okay, if I had licenses for AB, I probably need it, so I will buy more licenses for AB. But that buying of licenses was unjustified, because that license manager might have been for a certain project that has long ago finished, or it can be for some new product that was tested, but it was never put into production. So it can be 101 reasons why license servers and vendors get forgotten and their licenses get updated. Now, some license managers even have an automated licensing system that once your license is expired, they create a new license for you. Now, you'll be able to know and prevent it, because you'll have a lot of knowledge and a lot of insight into your data, because OpenLM will allow you to discover all your license managers. So if you know you have a license server, you think you have 3 license managers on it, you install the OpenLM broker, which is the agent component of OpenLM that sits on the license server. Then the broker will discover all the license servers you have on that machine, all the vendors that you have on that machine. If they are working or not, they will be found. So this way your whole system will be mapped out, and you will be able to know that, oh, this license, what is this license? I have a license server that nobody is using. Oh, then we can close it, we can shut it down, we can sell the licenses, we cannot buy, we can allow us not to buy this next year. So the last thing that I want to show you within the reports of OpenLM, I want to show you the license activity report, which gives you a pivot table for you to use with your data. Meaning, let's say that you want to know how many hours each organizational unit has used. So I see, for example, that this group used for about 31 hours. So I'll know to bill them accordingly. If you are working with group billing or chargeback billing, then you will be able to know the usage, the session duration of every group, of every user, of every feature, server, vendor, project, workstation, whatever you choose. And this way, you'll be able to build different organizational units according to their usage. Now, these are all the main reports of the core product of OpenLM. Now, the main reports, as we said, they showed you what's going on right now, how far you are from maxing out the license, what happened after you maxed them out, how many licenses you need and how many licenses you don't need. Also, we saw the fact that you can do chargeback billing. So these are like the top 6 report of OpenLM. There are many more reports, management, operational, widgets, many reports in OpenLM, but I'm not going to go over each and every one. I just wanted to show you the most powerful ones that actually tell a story, that actually lets you understand what's going on with your system, top to bottom, past to future. Now, we have a bit of time left, so I would like to show you a few extensions of OpenLM. I'll show you a few of the cheap extensions of OpenLM, the smallest ones, just so you'll understand what OpenLM will be capable of beyond the core product. So one thing that I want to show you is the alerts management. Alert management means that you can get notified when certain criteria, when certain conditions are met, and you can get notified by SMS, by email, and you can know when these conditions are tripped. So let's quickly go over these conditions, and you'll see the power that this extension has. So a license server is not responding. Let's say that the license server is down, license server is stuck, is maybe off, maybe the machine shut down, anything. So you'd want to get notified about it. So this condition will alert you when a license server is down because users are not getting licenses and you want to fix that. So you want to get notified. Usage percentage, meaning that the usage of that feature is about to be maxed out. Like if I have 100 licenses and I have 95 concurrent usage, then it's 95% utilization. I'd probably want to do something about it, meaning call up people, release licenses, close workstations, close applications, whatever you do when licenses are becoming stressed. And of course, this here is 90%, but you can set it to whatever you choose. Duplicate license usage. You can get notified when a user opens up the same application twice on the same machine. So you can get notified and know about that because that usage is not according to the end user agreement. You can get notified when a license is about to expire. Let's say that you have 1,000 licenses. You can't, there are 1,000 different features. You can't go one by one and check which one ends when and when it's expired, and it's just too much work. So OpenLM can notify you when it's about to be expired. So here is 2 weeks, but you can put whatever you want. So you get notified when it's about to expire, and you know to go out and buy new licenses, renew the policy, do whatever you do. when a license is about to be expired. So users with no default group or no default project. Let's say that you put all your users in groups and projects, meaning that you're connected to your Active Directory and all the groups are pulled from there, and you create groups from those users. So if there's a user who pulled a license and is using an application and is not a part of a group or a project, then it's an unauthorized user. You want to know, you want to get notified, hey, you got this guy named this and that using this feature. Usage period over a certain amount. Let's say that I have a user that is using for more than 12 hours, more than 24 hours, maybe more than a week. And it's the same session. So he's probably not using the whole time. He's using up a license which is floating and is making it act like it is named. So you can get notified when this happens. So let's say a license is pulled for more than I don't know, 9 hours, maybe 10 hours, a working day. Then that user probably forgot his application open. So you will get notified about it, but he can also get automatically notified about that infringement. He will get an automatic email saying, well, you'll put the title, but it will say that, hey, put back your licenses. You can put a new email that he will get that says, remember to put back your licenses when you finish your working day. So the next one is to give you an idea if something is wrong with the licenses. Maybe something is wrong with the license server. Let's say that the license server is responding, but people are getting denied like crazy, like 1,000 denials in 10 minutes. That means that users are trying to get a license and they can't. That can be because the license file, the license file expired, the license file was bad in the first place. Maybe it had wrong syntax or something. Maybe it has the wrong features inside, the wrong quantity. Something is wrong with the license or the license manager. So this way you'll know that, oh, something's going down. I need to check that. So this is one extension of OpenLM. Now there are many more reports and many more extensions of OpenLM. For example, as I said, you'll be able to connect with the Active Directory. You'll be able to set different roles for different users of OpenLM, so everybody will see something different, different detail, different data. You can have your users access OpenLM using their own IIS or Windows authentication, so they won't have to remember another password. OpenLM also enables you to track idle times. Now, what is idle times? Let's say that I pulled an AutoCAD license here, and I just keep it open. I don't play with it. It doesn't take any memory or CPU or anything. It's just idle. It's idling. So you'd want to get notified. Not notified, but you'd want to know about it. So OpenLM also, it has an extension, the actual usage extension, that allows you to know if the application is actually under work or if the application is not doing anything. The guy went on a meeting, the guy went home, the guy is on Facebook. You don't know what the guy is doing, but you will be able to know that he's not on the application, he's not working on the application. Now OpenLM will also enable you to close that session. Let's say that you see, oh, he's idle for like an hour. Well, it's probably not near his desk anymore, so you close his application, you save his work, and you close his application. Either you save and close his application, or you can suspend his application and release the license, or just kill the process altogether, whatever you choose. And that's about it. I'm not going to go in deeper into the OpenLM system. We've already covered all of the core product that you should be interested in. Well, there's a lot more to OpenLM. There, as I said, many extensions. We have more than 10 extensions, each one with its own unique help and support to something that is required from our clients. But the main product gives you mainly reporting capabilities. As you've seen, the license server, license usage, denials, how many licenses you need by utilization, and which ones are not actually used. And that's about it. I'm not gonna go deeper. I think that this should not drag on. If you have any questions, please go ahead. Just go ahead and ask. I will unmute you all. You can just ask with your microphone, or you can write it down in the chat box, and I'll be happy to answer. Oh, I have a question right here. Do the Active Directory features requires an extension? I'm not sure what does that mean. The Active Directory itself is an extension of OpenLM, the Active Directory synchronization, and it gets all the groups, users, and computers from your Active Directory. Now these can be set. Let me show you. You know what? If we take a look at the LDAP synchronization, Active Directory synchronization here, we see that we have a few options. We can select the node that we want and then put everybody in the same group, or take the hierarchy of the OUs and security groups and just create groups from them, or just use the attributes themselves. So I can select department, and whoever has sales in his department will be under group sales. Whoever has support under his department will be under the group support. So this is very versatile, as you see here, select users, groups, under the OUs, only active users, so it will not take everything. The computers you can even take, and every about 12 hours, it synchronizes. The Active Directory is an extra cost, is not a part of the core product, but it's not one of the expensive ones. It sometimes comes with the license itself. Let's say that you have a site license, an academic license, you have different types of licenses, then this will be included automatically. If you have enterprise license, then this might be added extra extensions. But I'm from support. I'm like the good guy. I'm not sure about the pricing and the licensing. If you want more information about the licensing and costs of each component, I would suggest to send an email to sales@openlm.com, and they will be happy to help. They will be happy to give you a quote, a price list, whatever you ask for. Can reports cover all license servers in one view? Yes, you can select multiple license servers. So let's go to the license usage report. And I have this server with this feature, but let's say that I want to add another one. I want Abacus, and I want also this feature. So I can add also that one, and I'll be able to see it either separate. I see the blue and the red here, or if I want, I can even display them together, summed up. Okay, so if you have any more questions, ask away, no problem. Go ahead. But if not, I will thank you very much for joining me on this session. I hope it was informative. I hope that it was interesting. If you have any more questions, I'm going to stay here for about 5 more minutes. But you can also send an email to support@openlm.com and we will be happy to answer. Okay, I have a question right here. Software vendor Zemax also supported. Now, we monitor the license manager, meaning that if there's a license manager that supports this application, this vendor, then yeah, no problem. We have 25 different supported license managers. And if you go to our website at at openlm.com and we go to solutions, license managers, then we will be able to see all the different license managers that OpenLM monitors. So there's FlexLM here, LUM, HASP, RMS, RLM, LMX, DSLS, all the big names. I have 25 different ePlan, 25 different license managers that we track, that we are able to monitor. Do you know if it can be used with ARAS software? Again, if ARAS software uses a license manager, one of these license managers to distribute its licenses, then yeah, it is supported. Can you drill into a data point on a graph to get the actual users behind the numbers of licenses being used? Hope that makes sense. Yes, of course it makes sense. Let's open it up and just click, I don't know, just click here on this dot. So we will get the activity report for that part. You see all the users. Now the username right here, because this is a user database, a client database, I cannot show you the names due to the latest GDPR and all that, so these names are scrambled. But this shows you all the users for that time. You can even do a group by and see the features, the users, whatever you choose for that specific spot, specific point in time. Now you can also aggregate it, so the point in time will be an hour, a day, a week, months, whatever you choose. So if I do it by days, for example, you see that everything is changed. So I get the maximum value per day. I can do it by week if I want, and it gets even less granular. I can even show it without any aggregation, which shows the fluctuation of license usage. Now another question, according to licensing options, does the number of users reference the OpenLM interface users or users that check out licenses from our servers, users that use PTC? When licensing OpenLM, you mean? When you get a license for OpenLM and it's licensed for like 100 users, then these users are also OpenLM users and also application users. Can it be configured so only certain users can see and manage the usage data? Admin rights. Yes, you can set different roles. You can set one super user, one super admin user in the core product, meaning without any extensions. But if you want to set a different different views to different users, meaning that users from USA will only be able to see servers from USA, or management will only be able to see a certain report that they need, or operational can see everything. For example, the administrator can see and control everything. So you can decide, you can pick and choose which ones, which groups of users can view which parts of OpenLM. But again, this is the roles and permissions extension, which is an extension and is a paid extra. Again, not one of our expensive, one of the cheapest extensions. It will not make a dent in your budget. Can OpenLM automatically generate reports and graphs? I think it can. Is this an extension? Now, this is an extension, but it's a free extension. It's called the Report Scheduler. Again, it's a free extension. You can schedule different reports. If I click on Share and I click Schedule right here, then I'll be able to set a schedule of when I want to receive and who gets the report. So for example, I can set it to be like last week, and I want to get it every Monday morning, and I want me to get it, and I want my manager to get it. So you can set that up, no problem. It can automatically give you and whoever you want the reports in any interval that you decide. And again, this is free, totally free. It's an extension, but it's free. Instead of email, can reports and graphs go to a web page or SharePoint? The reports themselves will be scheduled to an email, but if you want to share just the link, then you can share link, but it will not be automatic, the link. You will have to get it manually. This will be the link. I just want to add that you are able to share it to SharePoint or to a web page, to a link, to whatever you choose, if you use an extension of OpenLM called the OpenLM Reporting Hub, which uses Power BI. And if you have Power BI Pro, then you'll be able to do just that. But this is again a part of another webinar. This is a webinar dedicated for the core product, not the extensions. And the Reporting Hub is just about the biggest extension that we have. So I suggest to enroll for the extensions webinar in our website. Can the heat map be configured based on color per usage? No, you know what? No one asked this before. No, it is set. The colors are pretty much set. It's green to red, a traffic light. But you know what? I think I would make a feature request out of it because it's a nice little feature to add. Thank you, Lucas. Okay, so thank you very much, guys. I hope this was informative. If you have another question, let me know. Okay, just send us an email to support@openlm.com and we'll be happy to help. My name is Sagi, Sagi. I am a part of the support team of OpenLM. We will be happy to see you in our ticketing system if you have any questions. Okay. Okay. Thanks, guys.